Process and impacts of recycling PET plastic bottles. Debora, Kelsey, and Kenty.
PET stands for polyethylene terephthalate. It is plastic number 1.
Canadians generate approximately 31 million tons of garbage a year and only recycle 30% of that. Plastic takes 1 million years to break down in landfills. This issue with growing landfills, it can affect the land by contaminating it and can get into water streams. Recycling a ton of PET containers saves 7.5 cubic yards of landfill spaces.
Traditionally, you had to make your way down to a local recoiling plant and drop off your own assorted plastics. Today, however, many cities around the world have roadside pickup right from your house for not only garbage, but recyclables as well. In Canada, about 95% of people have access to a recycling program. It's never been easier. Once the plastic is picked up, it is sorted from other materials such as paper and metal, as well as sorted from other plastics. From here, it is shaken and rinsed in order to rid of all the debris. It is then crushed into flakes and then floated in a tank. It is then sorted again, this time by density. When the flakes are then dry, they are melted and then either molded into specific shapes or made into pellets. Pellets are sent back to the manufacturer and later melted themselves and remade into recycled plastic items.
Recent programs have been developed that make the ability to recycle plastic bottle caps viable. The plastic from the caps is a different type than the bottle and thus could not before be recycled at the same time. As well, the caps are not always removed, which presents a hazard. Bottles with caps still on are not able to be crushed fully, and they pose the threat of launching their caps at high velocities and potentially injuring workers. Technological advancements have been made to separate these plastics in the recoiling process, as well as to be able to crush them without the hazards mentioned before.
Manufacturers initially made plastics from crude oil derivatives or natural gas, so making more plastic consumes an increasing amount of non-renewable fossil fuel. The amount of oil needed to produce a plastic bottle is enough to fill a quarter of the bottle. On average, according to the Stanford University Recycling Center, 1 ton of recycled plastic saves 16.3 barrels of oil. Recycling plastic cuts back on oil consumption, therefore helping to extend the lifespan of our remaining fossil fuel reserves.
By saving in industrial productions through recycling, the greenhouse gas emissions from factories and industrial plants are also reduced by 1.5 tons per ton of recycled PET, and the use of fuels that emit harmful gases during productions is also minimized. Recycling plastic will then contribute a lot to help reduce air pollution and greenhouse gases that depletes the ozone layers.
Landfills are mostly composed of non-biodegradable waste, which takes a long time to decompose. By recycling, we can lessen the waste materials that are placed into landfills, and we are able to make the most out of these materials. If we don't recycle, more and more garbage will go to landfills until they start to overflow.
If we do recycle, it can provide ways to save money. You can sell recycled materials to organizations such as Sarcan that are willing to purchase the bottles from you. Products that are made from recycled materials are less expensive than products made from fresh materials.
The original PET bottle was recycled in 1977. Since then, there has been many improvements and innovations on the products that result from recycling. For example, certain chemicals from the plastics can be reused again in making another plastic product.
They are used in sleeping bags as fiber fuel. Only 114 are needed to make one sleeping bag.
In South America, a new library was built from 2,600 PET bottles.
In Quito, Ecuador, 8,500 bottles were made into a playground to the local children. Bienvenidos!
They are also used in clothing making. Coca-Cola has a clothing brand named Drink to Wear, which incorporates a blend of recycled plastic bottles and cotton. They make t-shirts, totes, loungewear, and hats. The messages on the products are intended to promote recycling and an eco-friendly lifestyle. Coca-Cola has sold more than 1 million products from this line and thus diverted 5 million PET bottles from getting into our waste stream. This is the process of going from a plastic to a t-shirt. First, the PET and plastic is picked up. The label is then removed and the bottles are broken down into flakes. They are then washed and added bleach to. They are then transformed into fiber and incorporated with yarn to make the final product. Crafts can also be made from recycled bottles at home that you have lying around. Many good examples are found on websites such as Pinterest. Some ideas include pencil holders, where the bottle on the bottom is cut out, planters, where the bottle is filled with soil and planted, bird feeders, where a hole is cut into the side and the bottle is filled with feed, watering cans, where the lid is kept on and the holes are poked into it, and finally, decorating light fixtures.
In Saskatchewan, in 2004, only 15.2% of residents were regularly recycling. To improve these numbers, a new program was initiated in Regina. In July of 2013, where now recycling is picked up from your home. This program will divert 20,000 tons from our landfill each year. It takes plastic bottles. The university also has programs to recycle plastic bottles. You can help by recycling your bottles in bins such as these found in the Riddle Center.